What's going on, guys? Welcome to this amateur tutorial on Phasmophobia. So what we're going to be doing is just running you through the beginning phases of the hunt, which will be the setup, which is the first 5 minutes, the middle ground, where you're going back in, doing your second and third sweep of the place, getting as much evidence as you can to summarize where you get to, and then third, picking the ghost or thing that you've got, narrowing it down, and then going with your gut and hitting that close door button and getting back to safety. If you do like the video, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe underneath. But other than that, let's just get straight into it. Alrighty, so now before we start, we're just going to fix something up real quickly. For new players, you might not know this. You need to go into your options, go to audio, and make sure that your microphone is set up correctly for the Yellow stereo microphone, and make sure that in your sound settings itself that your microphone that you are using is set as your Windows default microphone. It's because this does use voice recognition in order to speak to the ghost. So to test that, to test it works right, we hit test, and that's going to ask us to say this. But if I just talk regularly, it should just keep saying listening, because it can't hear me say that phrase. And then if I say, give us a sign, we heard you, right? So that means that it's working for me. I can now talk and I go boo-ba, boo-ba, boo-ba. Wait. Yeah, so we can see that the voice recognition is correctly picked up that we had said, give us a sign. Yeah, so we can see that it's correctly picked it up. So that way we can talk to the ghosts and we can get them to react the way that we want them to react. You also need this working in order to use the in-game voice chat to other players and to use the radio when you get too far away. I strongly recommend that, even though you can talk over Discord. It's 100% worth for the atmosphere when you're playing with other people to use the in-game chat. Alright, so let's get into this one. Play, and we're going to create a private. Alright, so when you start off, you're only going to have the EMF reader, flashlight, photo camera, UV light, video camera, spirit box, and ghost writing book. I'm going to assume that you've already completed at least one on your own, like you've given it a go. Therefore, I recommend the first thing, the absolute first thing you buy is the, where is it? The thermometer. It's only 30 bucks, so you only need to run maybe 1 or 2 on your own before you've gotten to this stage. Buy the thermometer. If you don't have the money yet, then all you need to look out for when you're looking for a ghost is fog coming out of your breath, like an early morning fog. It's pretty easy to see, unmistakable. Then you know you got below freezing temperatures. But it's also very handy in finding a room that's below 10 degrees. And if you've got to find a room that's below 10 degrees Celsius, then you know the ghost is in that room. So it makes it a lot easier to find the ghost. If you don't have this, then use the EMF to try and hunt down the location of the ghost. So I'm going to add my thermometer, just because we're going to assume you got that. And the only other thing that I'm adding is a strong flashlight. Now this is not later game, but mid-game sort of item, early mid-game sort of item, but I'm only adding this just for your sake, so you can see the video better. But I know you won't really have this. All right, so we've added those two things in. So let's select a job. All right, so we're going to select this one just for a start off point. Tanglewood Street House, difficulty amateur, recommended team size 1. That's perfect for a solo run. Recommended items, none. So that straight up tells me that we might not need the thermometer, but we'll still run into it. All right, a small 3-bedroom single floor house with a basement. The owner called this morning. From what she said, it sounds like a dangerous ghost is haunting the area. Head there and gather as much evidence as you can so a ghost removal team can finish the job once you leave. More info when you arrive. All right, first clue in this menu is it says dangerous. So it doesn't say that all the time. So if it doesn't say that, I'll see if we can find a different one. We've just confirmation of a possible ghost sighting. This sounds dangerous. You'll have to be careful with this one. Okay, so we've got a couple of dangerous ones. Definitely some paranormal activity. Here we go. So this one doesn't say anything about there being a dangerous ghost. So we know straight off the bat that this one's going to be a little bit hectic for the tutorial, but let's get into it. So we'll select that. Add the strong flashlight and thermometer. Back. Ready it up. Start it. Okay, now we've loaded in. Let's have a look what we can see. So first off, we'll look at these four monitors. So we got a map of the location. You can hit this button here to switch between the levels. So that's the basement. And this is the overall map of upstairs. And that green little box there is a fuse box. So first little rule of thumb, don't turn on too many lights. If you turn on too many lights, you can accidentally trip the breaker and you'll turn all the lights off by accident. And so then you go over to that little box, that green box, and that's where you can turn it on. Like turn the breaker back on and be okay. Sound sensors. So the sound sensors is simply, you can buy them mid-game, and you can put them around. That's more for intermediate and pro levels where you don't have 5 minutes to set up. So you smack them down as fast as you can and then you stare at the sensors and wait for any sign. Total activity. So the activity is basically how much the ghost is starting to act up and what it's doing. Like if it's flicking lights on and off, it's a good idea when you're not in the building to see what the ghost is up to. If this hits a 10, then the ghost has entered hunting mode and it's coming for you, which means you need to turn off your light, get to a room and hide. When you're playing with somebody else, this is a lot easier because say you're struggling to find the ghost, you can get the person to walk around in those rooms, try and get it annoyed, and you'll see the activity go up, and then you know it's somewhere in that vicinity. Sanity, so this is our overall, kind of like our health bar, but the lower this gets, the more likely the ghost is to become more active around you and actually come and attack you. You can keep your sanity high by staying in the light, or and you lose your sanity by being in the darkness. Now, if it hits 0, you're not going to die. It just means that the ghost is coming, and it's going to come for you a lot more than it usually would. So try and keep that as high as you can. All right, so let's have a look. So the timer is 5 minutes, and that's for the amateur level. For intermediate, it's 2 minutes, and for pro, you don't get any timer. All right, and then the very next thing is the optional objectives. So objective 1, which is the whole point of the game, it's not really that optional. Discover what type of ghosts we are dealing with. Option 2 to 4, do it if you can do it. Don't risk your life on it because you don't get back the items that you risk bringing in. So if you get the chance to do it, do it. Otherwise, leave it. All right, so we got detect a ghost presence with a motion sensor. We don't have one yet because we're running the amateur. Detect a room below 10 degrees Celsius with a thermometer. Luckily, we brought a thermometer, so we can do that one most likely. Capture a photo of the ghost. That's one of the more difficult ones, but we've still got a chance. All right. I've done some investigating. Looks like the ghost name is Helen Jones. This ghost also seems to only respond to people who are alone. You should be able to use its name to anger it and get some paranormal activity. Make sure you refer to it in the journal. So what you would want to do is refrain from using their name unless it's really been a pain and not really reacting to anything you're doing. Then start to say the name to get it coming out more active and coming for you. Use the name as little as possible, because if you do say it too much, it does really anger the ghost and it will start coming for you. And the next clue on this board is it only seems to respond to people who are alone. So that means that if there's a large group of people, it's likely to be less active, which means you should just separate or get everyone out of the house, be here in the truck, and let someone go in there with the EMF reader or something like that and try and get a sign. As we're playing solo, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, that's that. So we'll move on. Next thing we got is the cameras. Self-explanatory. Hit the spacebar to turn night vision on and off, and you hit the mouse to switch between cameras. We don't have our cameras set up yet, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so always remember to grab the key. I've forgotten it many times. Alright, so my going in loadout, if you can call it that, is a flashlight, grabbing the strong one, a camera to set it up straight away, and the thermometer. Normally when I run duos or something like that, someone will take the thermometer and I will take the EMF. but it's just easier to detect the ghost with the thermometer, so we're going to take that in this time. Alright, so open it up and let's get going in there. The timer still hasn't started and it won't start till I open up the front door. Now, to turn on the flashlight whilst you've got something else out, it's T. Alright, so here we go. The timer starts now, 5 minutes from now. Now, we can come in here, turn this light on straight away for a bit of safety. 12, 13 degrees, so it's likely not in there. Come in here, 16 degrees, likely not in there. Not going to bother turning these lights on yet. We're going to run into here, nothing in here yet. I'm going to leave the doors open just so if the ghost gets annoyed and starts slamming them shut, we know. Turn on this middle light here, it's a good light to have on. This is a room that typically seems to have the ghost for this map. Nothing yet. Check the bathroom, nothing yet. Check the closet, 17 degrees, nothing yet. Now, I feel like the thermometer is the most likely one to find the ghost, as even just dropping below 10 means the ghost is roughly in that area. Alright, run into the kitchen. We have nothing yet. Make sure we go over to the dining room table. Nothing. Open up in here. Nothing yet. In here. We're now in the garage. It hasn't dropped. So I'm starting to believe that it's likely when we go into the basement, it's going to get us started. Alright, let's head down here. 16, 19. Should drop all of a sudden. 17, 18, 19, 18. Okay. Alright, so what we do now is I'm going to leave and grab the EMF and try with that. I've checked every room. I might just check if I missed a bathroom or something in one of these side rooms. Maybe in this room. I can hear it moving things, but it hasn't dropped the temperature. It's a pretty active one. Oh, here we go. 9 degrees. Where was that? 10, 19, 16, 18, 9. Okay, so I got a feeling it's in this hallway, roughly, in the entrance. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm going to put the camera, make sure we turn it on with left click and put that there. Might be in this bathroom, eh? I got a feeling. Alright, well, you know what? So we've put down the camera. Let's go out. We need to use our 5 minutes as best as we can. It's a very, very active ghost, it seems like. Watch, we'll see the activity here. Yeah, very active. Alright, grab that. I'm going to grab the EMF, the spirit box. Got 2 minutes left. So let's get this thing going as best we can. Run back in. Seeing we only have 2 minutes. Right, so it's going to be in here somewhere. We're going to turn the light. Okay, it's already hit the fuse box. We might have a gin. Only a 2 on the scale. Right, there might be this room. Right. Can you hear me? Are you there? Whoa. Okay, so he said attack close. That's not scary at all. Alright, so we don't need this then. Alright, this thing is going to get feisty. Alright, so first things first. Let's chuck that up there. And we are going to grab, with our minute left, quickly grab that. Chuck that there, grab this. Let's do these as quick as we can. We only have 1 minute before this thing gets really ticked off. See if it'll ride on this. Oh. Right. So it might ride on. Whoa, that's scary. That's a loud sound. Holy. Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, we got handprints. Oh, it's turning on radar. This thing is evil as hell. Okay. I didn't want something this evil. Alright, so let's go to the back. We got spirit box. Fingerprints. That's what we use the UV light for, to find fingerprints, or we saw them on the wall. I should have said that, but I got scared and I left. So we got spirit, wraith, poltergeist. Ugh. Okay, let's check how much time we have left, because this thing is going to get angry. And we're out of time. Alright, so we've done the initial setup. Let's see if I can see anything on this. Because if I can get... It's facing the wrong way, which is kind of a pain. Okay, let's do this then. So we got spirit box guaranteed, because we heard it talk back on the spirit box. Fingerprints we found with the UV light. So he shone the UV light at the door, and we saw that hand smudge on the wall. So we know that's there for a fact, which means we've narrowed it down to a spirit, a wraith, or a poltergeist. So the next best thing to do is go to, let's read about them, start at the beginning. Spirit, the most common ghost you will ever come across. However, it is still very powerful and dangerous. These will usually be discovered at one of their hunting grounds after an explained death. Unique strength, so there's nothing that special about them. Weakness, using a smudge stick on the spirit will stop it from attacking for a long period of time. Alright, ghost riding. Okay, so that means, so we've got the spirit box, we got the fingerprints, ghost riding. Now, that's the book that we chucked down in that room, so we're going to have to go back in and check. Just find, look at the ghost riding. If we see the ghost riding there, we're done. We're out. We've nailed it. If not, then we're going to have to move on to the next step. So we've got spirit, wraith, fingerprints, freezing temperatures, and spirit box. Now, I'm feeling confident that we can rule out freezing temperatures, which means we can rule out the wraith. Why? Because even when we're in there and it was moving stuff around, it's quite obvious the breath you'll see come out. And when we went into that room before, when it dropped to 9 degrees, it should have dropped to minus something. So I'm fairly confident we can cut out freezing temperatures, so it's not going to be a wraith. The next thing it said was a poltergeist. And a poltergeist to me seems the most likely of options, only because of how active it is in that room, turning things on and off, flicking stuff around. Look, also known as a noisy ghost, can manipulate objects around him to put fear into the victim. That's what it's doing. It's almost ineffective in an empty room. What that means is, in theory, if you take all the stuff that can be moved out of the room by having nothing in your inventory and pressing E to pick it up and take it out, you can make the ghost weaker. But I've never seen anybody do it. That's just theory. Alright, to prove it's a poltergeist, we need to set up the camera to face the other way and see a ghost orb. And we see the ghost orb on this camera like this. Now I've faced the camera the wrong way. So what we can do is go back in there, grab the camera, spin it around 180 degrees, face it back towards the room, and hope for the best on that. Alright, now let's go back in, quickly check the book, rotate the camera, and we'll call it there. Oh, hang on. Quick strats. Right, so it hasn't written on the book. Okay, that's a quick strategy. Right, because it's in that room, I was able to see the book. It hasn't written on the book, which means that it's likely going to be the ghost orbs. I'll go back in there to rotate it just for the sake of it. Oh my god. Fuck that shit, I'm out. Okay. This thing is active like nothing else. It definitely hasn't written in the book, so I know for a fact it's a poltergeist. I'm going to leave this behind. Actually, what don't I need? I don't need that, actually. So I need to pick up the camera and turn it around. I'm going to try and only provoke it a little bit. Pick up the camera, rotate it. It's moving lots of stuff around, so I can't be a little sook about it. Right, so let's leave now. We got that camera on facing the right way. We're safe out here. Alright, so it's only a little active because I haven't really threatened its room. Alright, so we're just going to watch this for a moment. We don't really have a good view of the whole room yet. I just didn't want to go in there to provoke it more. But we might be able to get something from here. Alright, so it doesn't look like one's going to show up, which means I'm going to take it in there. I'm only doing this now, so we know... We've narrowed it down because of there's no writing on the book. We have narrowed it down to it being a poltergeist, but I just want to get this ghost orb up on the screen to show you. It jumps very quickly from nothing to 100. Right, so let's leave now that we've done that. I can hear it kicking books and stuff around still. Let's just get out. Go back and see the... I'll just check the ghost book again. Alright, still no writing on the book. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's when I was in there. It only went up to 1, so I haven't really annoyed it that much. Right, now if there's a ghost orb, I should... There it is. There, it's flying around. It's 100% in there. So we have successfully determined that if we go to the end here, the final thing on this is a ghost orb. We got the spirit box when we were in the room and had a chat. We did the fingerprints when we saw the hand mark on the wall. And we've successfully 100% confirmed that there is ghost orbs in that room by moving the camera from outside to inside the main bedroom. And then if we go down the bottom here, there is only one ghost it could be, and that's a poltergeist. Alright, but yeah, we can call this one a successful raid. We come back over to the button, smack that button, and we're off. Welcome back to the contract payment screen. We got the ghost. We found out it was a poltergeist, so we were correct. Objective 3 was detect a room below 10 degrees. I think we only hit 9 or 8 or something like that, but it's still below 10, so we got $10 for that as well. Bone evidence. We didn't talk about this, but when you're in the apartment looking around, try and find a bone. It will just be laying around like on the floor or in a cupboard or something like that. Take a photo of it, pick it up by pressing E, and then it counts as bone evidence, so you get paid for that too. Insurance is for things like that you left behind or that you lost. You won't have to pay for them again when you win. It's just a little bit of extra bonus. If you die, get someone to go in there and take a photo of you with that special camera, and that will pay out your insurance for the items that you, for like a lot of the value of the items that you've lost dying. The rest, photos, is just if you see like a dead body, take a photo. If you see the ghost, take a photo. If you see the ghost is written in the book, take a photo. You can spend your photos amounts to 5 photos you get on stuff like that, and it'll pay you out for it too. And then total X difficulty multiplier is we got $30 for completing it on amateur difficulty. You get more money for the difficulty that you do it at. That's it. Then you get your experience here, and you're back here ready to run it again. So that's really it when it comes to it. You got the setup phase at the beginning, then you got your middle playground, which is the scary part where it can actually attack you. So in the first part, don't worry about it. I've had ghosts actually come at me and Dillison before in that first part, but they can't kill you. So just use that time if they are doing stuff like that. Try and get them show themselves again. That's a good time to try and catch the photo, because they will get in your face, but they can't hurt you. But over the time of playing, you will come up with your own methods and strategies at doing this. So don't be afraid to go off course of what I've shown. It's just a quick rundown on how to easily get through your first run through. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe underneath the video. Even if you want to hit the dislike button to tell me you hated it, all feedback helps. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.